Hello, I am Mauleverer and I am sitting down with ASJ, who are an architectural interior design firm based in London and the country. I met ASJ about 5 years ago when they renovated a client's property of mine in Pimlico, and I was blown away at just the transformation that they made, but also how fabulous they were to work with, how professional, how accommodating, and so when I went independent there was no choice but to work with ASJ. So let's go and meet them. Hey, I'm so glad that we're doing this. So, first and foremost, I would personally really like to know, how was ASJ born?
Oh, that'll be over to me then. Okay, so let's wind the clock back a bit before then to, a house on the top of the Cotswolds in the 90s, completely derelict, and stupidly took it on as a project, just in the way in which we tell our clients you never should, with no research, no pre-backup, none of it. 3 years later, loads of specialist trades, it was listed, it was, yes, fantastic fun, but hugely frustrating, and I definitely got it all in my veins by then, so it kind of was born then, that passion. ASJ as it is now, born 2010, really, when I relocated to the Chalk Valley, just west of Salisbury, and got persuaded to do another ground-up project, this time with a developer who bought a beautiful site, but really felt he was potentially a bit out of his depth, so asked if I could come along and help. And again, that took 2+ years with other projects as well, and we won a lovely award for that one, local Civic Society Award, the Lady Radnor Award, so that was fun.
So that's what ignited the flare that is ASJ today.
Yeah, that was the ignition point, yeah.
And what's quite unique about you two is you're not just business partners, you are mother and daughter.
Yeah.
So I could ask you how that dynamic works, but I will instead ask Annie, how did you get involved with ASJ?
Safer.
So I actually started out commercially when I graduated from university, designing offices, hotels, and Amanda started to get some clients with connections, family in London, wanting to do projects up there, but obviously being on the ground in Wiltshire, needed someone to help a hand. So I used to do late night site visits, host my day on site at a hotel or something, and it sort of just naturally started to work together. And when COVID hit and lockdown came, I had a bit of a career change, and because we'd sort of already started working together, she needed a hand when everything opened up again, and the construction world went a bit mad, as you probably know. And so I started working out remotely from London, supporting with projects, but that client base in London just started to grow. And so we opened an office in Parsons Green initially in 2021. And then in 22, having spent most of 21 on the tube or the bus, trying to get myself between sites, because we were starting to get clients more central, further east, and I just was travelling all the time. So we found a home in Pimlico, and that's where we've been ever since. We've grown to, I joined ASJ when Amanda was just her and one other, and we're now a team of 7. And we are multidisciplinary and working across both city and country projects, but as a whole team. So there's no divide depending on where anyone is. We all work on everything together.
So I'm glad that you just mentioned country and city, because that's another thing that really sets you guys apart, because I'm guessing that you can do anything from a really derelict barn in the middle of absolutely nowhere, as well as super high luxury penthouse in Kensington. How does that work with your team? How do you find that you split your time?
Okay, that's quite easy to understand when you realise that we're service-led. So an interior architecture and design practice, number one, not just an interior design practice. And we, as Annie said, we're a multidisciplinary team. So we've got an architectural technician who can deal with planning inquiries, we've got the designers, we've got logistics and project management members of the team, we've got those who support us with admin, etc. So we literally work to client need and client specification. So if it's, yes, a penthouse as finished recently, very close to here, or a really snazzy apartment overlooking Tower Bridge, then yes, our team can work to that. But equally well, yes, we work with the rural, we work with the derelict, we work with the remodel, is one I would argue of one of our big specialisations, and the remodel in London and the remodel in Wiltshire. Yeah.
And your lovely team of 7 just swoops in and deals with it all.
Yeah, good way to put it.
So a basic question for you, but one I think needs to be asked because there is a lot of confusion, and I'll fire this at you, Annie.
Yeah, hit me.
What is interior design?
Well, lots of people find that very, very confusing, or perhaps don't quite know exactly what it is. I think there is definitely a misconception that it is more about the finishing and the dressing of a property, so the furnishing, curtains, cushions, that sort of thing. But it goes so much deeper than that. I think if you think about the architecture of a building as the shell, so your walls, your floor, glazing, internal partitions, your interior design is all the layers that come after that. So that's not just the aesthetics and how it looks, but it's all the functionality. So to give you an example, when you go and stay in a hotel, how annoying is it if the plug socket isn't in the right place?
And when you can't charge your phone.
And you can't charge your phone.
Yeah.
Or dry your hair.
Dry your hair. If there's
Valid.
not a power
Valid.
socket anywhere near a mirror, you've got to think that the interior design is how all of that works together. It's where the mirror's put, but it's also that the power's been thought about to be put next to the mirror. You know, there's so many additional layers to it beyond dressing, furniture layouts, window treatments, wall finishes, you know, you name it. But it's everything that you're looking at. Everything's been thought about, because otherwise a space can look beautiful, but what's the point?
Doesn't function.
You know, if it doesn't function.
I think that's the key, isn't it? You need your space to function.
It's not got to be just aesthetically fantastic. It really has to work.
Yeah.
Like a high-end hotel, but it's your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just
Yes,
gotta work
please.
hard for
Why
you.
not?
It's got to work hard for you. You know, like if you're a young family and you don't have enough storage, you know, how annoying. You've got nowhere to put anything. So the aesthetics of your space, you know, a room looks beautiful, but if it then just gets filled with
Stuff.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned misconceptions, and I'm glad you said that, because I've come up against this quite a lot in what I do. There are 2 main misconceptions that I see about interior design, and that is, number 1, it's a real luxury. You need to be Mr. Moneybags in order to hire an interior designer, or you need to go with an interior designer if you like their style, because all interior designers are very style specific. Okay. How would you respond to both of those?
I'll take the luxury element. I think people accept when they're doing structural changes to their building that they will need an architect, because they know they're regulated by permissions, build control, etc. But all of us these days are absolutely bombarded with images, especially on social media. So people look at an Instagram post and go, oh, I'll just have that. I'll have a bit of that in the bedroom and a bit of that in the kitchen. And you imagine, can't be that difficult. Why don't I do it myself? Forgetting, of course, as Annie's just told us all, that it's all about the layers. It's all about getting all of that right. And actually, that takes a level of expertise. And if you get it wrong, which is so easy to do, forgetting that you need finishes that are going to be child-friendly, washable, stain-resistant, or you need a floor in the same vein that can cope with the high traffic that you're going to put it under. And if you don't, you spend all your money, which can be an enormous amount of money, refurbing the property, and you've got the spec wrong. And so what a fail. You've spent all that money, and potentially you've got to spend it all over again. So actually, I would argue we're not a luxury, we're a necessity. If you don't want to end up in a situation where you're overspent, and I can promise you very overstressed. There's a reason why Grand Designs is such good television. It's nothing to do with the design. It's always about, have they got a divorce? Are they still speaking to each other? You know?
So you are a relationship counsellor, you are...
There are times.
What you do is endless. God, it's just like being an estate agent.
It is. What it's about is giving the client control.
Fine.
It's giving them back that control, so they don't feel as if they've taken on just too much. You know, this is just never going to end, and all the money's going to be gone, and what are we going to be left with? You know, and yes, we do get clients who come to us and they're halfway through and they're in that slot. You know, the money's gone, and they can't even live in the, they can't even live in the place. We've had a number who we've had to help them restructure the whole project so they can go back and get some more pennies perhaps and finish and love their house.
Okay.
Rather than
that's very grand designs as well, isn't it? They're forever. We'll come back in a year's time. And then Annie, about style. Are you guys style specific? If someone comes to ASJ, what are they getting?
No, I think I mean, as Amanda's alluded to, we're service and client led. So I wouldn't say that we have a particular style. You know, I personally like to design sustainably for clients, and I think if you're doing that, then that means that you take them right the way back to the beginning. You're not recreating an image that they've seen somewhere online. You're really working out what it is that they want, and what they need. You know, what suits their lifestyle, what suits their lifestyle also in 5 years to come. You want to design a space that can grow with them and adapt and change, not necessarily hit an image or a trend of the time. You know, and I think as a result, clients find the end result so much more rewarding because it's better than they ever expected, because you've sort of really taken them through that process. So I think our approach is different. I wouldn't say that we're the only ones out there doing it like that, but I think we're definitely not led by the image.
No.
And your favourite project to date?
Oh, it's an easy one for me. I'll jump in. There's a vicarage down in Wiltshire that we've been working with for 10 years now, through 2 owners, which is quite fun. Total refurbishment, and it's been such fun. It's been such fun to be able to create for both families, especially those who are there now, a home that really reflects their personality, really works for them, even to the point at which we've got far bigger dreams, and we've converted a big barn for them that was completely redundant, and is now a fantastic entertainment space and a work to die for, overlooking the river with the swans floating by. So makes me smile every time I turn up.
Now that project, I think I know which one you're talking about. Is that the one that you guys have just been nominated for an award with?
Just maybe.
Can I ask what award it is?
It's the BID Interior Design Awards, so the British Institute of Interior Design. They have awards every year, and we are up for the best project in the Southwest, which is very exciting. So watch this space, October.
But great to be nominated, and the clients are as thrilled as we are because they love it.
It's amazing. I've seen the pictures of that, and that is just, that is grand designs. That should have been on grand designs. That was just mega, absolutely mega, and that was you. So well done to both of you.
It was the team. That's a classic example. Yes, it really was the team. Everything, we had to get planning. It was full of redundant cow stalls. Redundant cow stalls and very unwelcome inhabitants rather than people.
I don't think I have a favourite, or at least I'm very bad at making decisions. So I'm actually going to say that I prefer a type of project where we don't extend at all, where the footprint is exactly the same, but we completely reimagine it so that the client gets loads more space. And that is so rewarding, because when a client comes to you with a to-do, like with a list of everything that they want, it's great to be able to get that in when you haven't had to extend the footprint, particularly in London. You know, it's so
key in London. You're lucky if you can get an extra foot.
True enough. Well, in many of the apartments, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So yes, remodelling is hugely rewarding.
So I think that's my favourite.
Yeah.
But I can't. I'm not going to give you a.
Give a specific. Well, I think that trumps all the specifics. So that's a good one. Okay. Well, I've got you hot seat time. I am currently working with 3 clients, and actually it could be a great little input if I could just ask you some scenarios. So, client number 1, I'm calling this one the Putney Pad. You've actually been to this one. So these are lovely clients of mine, fabulous house in Putney. They've done a load of work, but they just focused on the ground floor, which is deluxe and gorgeous. wanting to sell it, getting it market ready. As an agent, I can advise them of what to do, get some great marketing. But as you have seen, as we move up the house, it's slightly disjointed. So I've brought Annie in to give them some advice of what they could do cosmetically. So can you just share what advice you have given as an example?
Sure. So when we visited, what was really clear is that they'd spent a lot of their time and effort and money on the ground floor, because that was great, and it had a lovely big open plan eat-in kitchen. As you moved up the house, the quality definitely diminished, and I think when people are looking at new homes, I mean, you're the expert here, but I think it's important to look at the fitted elements. You know, bedrooms and reception rooms are easy for people to add their character to when they buy them. I think bathrooms is where I would put the focus. The principal bathroom on the first floor is where I encourage them to spend a little bit more money and renovate the whole bathroom, but keep the services in the same place. So you're not, you know, spending more than you need to by relocating things. Simply just give it a refurb. And you can be smart about the sanitary ware that you buy and the tiles. You know, all of our suppliers and retail as well carry sales and things like that, so you can always capitalise on these sorts of things if you're not looking to stay long term and be more sensible with cost. Then on the second floor, that bathroom definitely needed some TLC. I mean, it had such a dated black tile floor, sucking just all of the natural light out of the room. I suggested a lighter touch refurbishment up there, so look at products like a luxury vinyl tile, which you can overlay over the top of the tiles, so you don't need to worry about ripping them all up, but it instantly gives a new look. And then I advise them to spend money on tapware. You've got to remember that when people come around to look at properties, it's the things that they touch and feel.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, so maybe replace the taps, replace the shower heads, and instantly I think it would feel fresher.
Amazing. Well, thank you again for doing that for them, because that was great. Next one is for you, Amanda.
Okay.
This one is Musey Magic.
Oh,
so I actually really want to introduce you to these clients because they're amazing. I've been renting out the cutest little Muse house for the past couple of years. Tenancy's ending in 8 months. Clients are moving back in. They want to completely gut and completely revamp, move in, make it their family home for them and their family. So we're about 8 months out.
Right.
How do I...
Well, believe it or not, 8 months, we want to see them next week. If you're on that kind of time frame and you're on a full refurbishment, because in principle, this is where early doors really counts. We need to understand them really well. We need to understand the property really well, where its restrictions are, what its strengths and weaknesses are. So once we've got inside each other's heads, then it's a question that we'll develop 2D designs. We'll look at whether any planning apps are appropriate for what we're looking at, start to get in control and get things motoring. But the beauty of the way we work with design is we'll then move forward out of those flat plans and into beautiful photographic quality 3D renders. So they can envisage being in that space. Okay, and that's the stage where you've got the opportunity before a contractor's started spending all their precious money to say, oh no, not quite the colour I thought it would look en masse, or always envisage a slightly bigger island, or it can feel as if we're pushing you hard to really refine those details, but wow, it pays back dividends, because then we can produce a tender pack that we can first of all match to the right calibre of contractor. Some are better in some departments than others. The little black book, you know all about that.
All got those.
Exactly. But also too, it means that everything is detailed. And so when you move forward into construction and you have those horrendous unforeseens that every project has, you're able to keep control. You're able to say, okay, fine, we found a structural fault, it's a pain, it's going to cost X to resolve. But yeah, we could downspec slightly over here and still achieve the look you want, and you haven't literally, as we all know, spent twice as much as you originally wanted to spend, lost your love for your property, which happens so often to people. You know, they then don't want to move back in again because they feel as if it's being a weight around their neck.
And I've seen your renders on Instagram, and I honestly struggle to know which one's the render and which one's the finished product.
We play that game.
They
It's
are
fun,
so
isn't
good.
it?
Yeah. They are so good.
Yeah.
And then I've got a final one, which I am going to direct as you to you. So this I'm calling Bougie on a Budget.
Oh, I like it. Nice.
And I have to send this to you because you are the lady who can make a Howden's kitchen look sexy. Honestly, you sent me the details of that property, and I was like, oh, I need that in my life. So hats off. So these are tenants of mine, actually, in a rental property in Pimlico. Okay. They're buying their first property, which is really exciting. It's in Clapham. Okay. It's going to be a large one bed, but they're going to need to turn it into a 2-bed.
Yeah.
Okay. So budgets are extremely tight on this one, but they do not want to pay for anything twice.
Okay.
No.
So what sort of thing can you do to help them?
Well, I'd say, again, actually, quite like the Muse property clients, I'd recommend that they do get in touch with us soon, because we do have one-on-one consultation sessions where clients can basically pick our brain for an hour, and we can help them basically work out the muddle in their head to create a plan on paper of the phases that they should go through to ensure that they're not doing any work twice over, and to make sure that the phases make sense in terms of construction and the sequencing. But then I would say they're the perfect sort of clients for our various design-only packages. You know, we don't just work with clients on full service. We recognise that for some people on a tighter budget, they need help in specific areas with professional help, rather than needing the full service hand-holding approach. So, you know, once we've had the initial session with them and helped them come up with a plan, and they've sort of digested that and perhaps given it more thought as to also where their priorities might be, then I would say that they can get back in touch with us, and we can tailor a package to suit them and their budget to give them the help they need at certain phases of the project.
So it's like a pick and mix.
Yeah,
People
absolutely.
can just select which little juicy bits that they need.
Well, because you know, not everybody needs help with everything. They might need help with planning at one stage, but then feel confident that they can manage the build with the contractor. Perhaps they just need an occasional site visit for us to look at certain details with them. You know, perhaps it's drawings, like a lighting layout. Again, if you're thinking about dividing rooms up, you want to make sure that power's been put in places that will work when the rooms are divided, as well as working as a whole. So, you know, we can help them as and when they need.
And now, cheekily, while I've got you, I need some help.
Oh, she wants a freebie. It's coming.
It's coming. Brace yourself. Annie knows this. I don't know if I've told you.
I don't know any need for a
I am
freebie
in
here.
the process of buying a really rundown Edwardian house in southwest London.
Congrats.
I love it. On paper, you wouldn't touch it with a barge pole,
No,
but
they're always the best ones.
We have just fallen in love with this house, and it's going through at the moment.
Okay.
So I've obviously been in the industry for 20 years. I've got a really good black book of contractors that I've known for a long time. I've seen enough that I kind of know where I want to go with it, but I'm not naive in the fact this is the biggest renovation I will have ever done. And I really don't want my sockets in the wrong place, and I want to be able to charge my phone and dry my hair. So I will need some help, but I also have resources of my own. So
Okay, well, I think you are the perfect target for actually a new set of products that we've been working on for a little while, which are basically packages. Okay, so the concept that you can have us in your back pocket, all right, and forward purchase a package, which might be to apply for planning permission to put an extra mansard window in or whatever to be able to achieve the dream of layout that you want, but it might be to help you specify. Might be the electrical layout. It might be to be able to do your furnishings and fittings where you know your contractors, but beyond that, not quite sure how to get that wow factor.
It can be to get you a
wow.
You want the wow. Okay.
It can be to get you your sexy Howden's kitchen.
I want all the sex and all the wow.
Okay, all right, enough. Well, so ultimately, it makes it manageable and makes it affordable and helps. It's that word control again. So feeling that you don't have to have the deepest pockets in the world to have a design team as your partners in this. All right. So we thought long and hard about how to do this to allow people such as yourselves to have the confidence that this is going to work?
It acts a bit like a pay-as-you-go service.
Okay.
So you can buy the packages individually. They're priced at 3 different price points. You know, you, as I say, do them individually, group them together depending on the level of scope and help that you need. But you know, it's endless at what we could help you, because it's not just for our time, it's for the whole team's time. So there's lots of disciplines there that you can tap into in terms of the specialist professional help and expertise that you would need.
And that's something, so right back to the beginning, so this is actually in a conservation area, and I know there's a
So
lot
you
of those
will
in
need
London.
Yeah.
So
lots of help.
you will need some, I will need some hand holding of how I approach all of that, how I do it.
Yeah.
Am I engaging the right contractors to do the right thing? When the scaffolding's up, what else should I be paying attention to?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And you know, as Amanda said, it can come right the way down to specifying. I mean, I know we're joking about a sexy Howden's kitchen, but essentially what we're talking about is to help you be able to know where to go and what products to get, you know,
where
to
the high
spend your
street
money.
can help.
Yeah, where the high street can help, where to spend your money, you know, where you could save a little bit, you know, effectively be an expert at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Yes,
So you don't,
I would
when
like
you
that.
approach us and everything is all awry and you're feeling as if you're out of control, you wouldn't get the response from us. We'd love to help, but actually you're going to have to wait 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
You'll have effectively booked that contact
Bought
time.
the time.
Yeah.
You
So
know, you know that we're there, that, you know,
appointment booked,
Yeah,
done.
done.
Yeah, you
done.
can rely on us.
So the 2 in the morning wake up like the rabbit in the headlights, hopefully, is removed from the process.
I have to say, and I know I've worked with you guys, but you honestly are such a safe pair of hands when it comes to home renovations. But you're so nice with it as well. You're just absolutely lovely to deal with, and
thank you.
adaptable.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to say that because
thank
it is
We work hard
it's a
at it.
testament to what you've both created. So congratulations. Now to end up, I want to pop you in the hot seat again.
Okay.
Just quickly.
What
because,
is coming
There
down?
are some random questions that I have for you. So just like a hot fire round.
Okay.
So Amanda, you can answer all of them first, and then Annie. So
brilliant.
I've just
Age-
got 10
age wins
quick
out.
fire questions.
Okay.
So favourite colour front door?
Feet. No colour. I prefer timber.
Oh,
Pink?
hot pink or baby pink?
No, like a plaster pink.
Oh, a plaster pink. Okay. Favourite room to design?
Ooh, the personal spaces, so bedroom and dressing room and perhaps your ensuite, because you relish those. When you really get the wow factor, that's brilliant.
Okay.
I love a kitchen and bathroom. I
The
love
pickly ones.
Yeah, I love the complicated ones. You know,
Sad
give me a big list of wants from the client in a tiny little space, and I just love floor planning them is my jam.
I can give you some of those, that's fine. Hardest room to design?
Actually, this is a weird one in the sense of a big bathroom.
Okay.
To get the mood and atmosphere right, it's really quite hard. Little ones are a walk in the park, but if you've got loads of space, it can often be really tricky.
Hardest room for you?
I think I would probably say really small utility areas.
Oh yes, go for that.
I get this in London all
What
the
with the
time.
ceiling error?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But they
On the
just-
wish list.
Yeah, they want so much, and it's so small. You have to get really creative. They're tough.
Okay. Favourite high street homewares shop?
Okay. Well, sort of high street, yes, they have shops. Biggie Best, I love. That really well. But actually, guilty pleasure, I do still use IKEA. It's a bad word, isn't it?
IKEA?
Yeah.
Great.
No, there are some bits there that you won't get, well, you certainly won't get for the price. So,
Fine.
budgetary conscious.
I'd say Zara Home. They've got some great bits. Some of their new furniture now is really lovely and has actually been built
I'll
very
give you
well.
that. I'll give you that. Quality's not sacrificed.
Yeah.
To wallpaper or not?
Oh, definitely yes, but not everywhere.
Yeah, I love wallpaper.
You love wallpaper. Feature walls still a
good
thing?
God. No.
They're not. They're
No,
gone.
no.
Feature
And
walls are
not
out.
Not with wallpaper.
Oh,
Okay.
please, never with
Not
wallpaper.
with wallpaper.
No.
Feature walls are gone. Okay, that leads me on to my next one. Do we still love grey?
No.
We don't love grey?
Woo. I can make I still love grey if I can put enough natural textures with it.
Okay.
So raw wood and wool and that
Warm it up a bit.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's a no from me.
rather Scandi look
And
can still work.
wood or stone floor?
Both, girl. You can't. No, you can't choose between two natural materials as lovely as that. Sorry.
Okay. Mudroom, stone.
Mudroom stone.
Stone.
Hallway.
Wood.
Oh,
It
depends on the
Yeah,
house, I
it
suppose.
does.
That's
Really
a hard
does.
one. Antique or modern?
Both together.
I go antique.
You go antique.
Yeah.
And what is your favourite neutral?
Oh God, what? As in a colour?
As in a colour. Like if
Okay.
someone wanted neutral walls, what's your
Okay,
go-to
I
neutral?
do probably F&B old white, which is no more white than fly. It's quite green, but
Okay.
it works with most things really well.
And I'm going to say little green, Portland stone, the colour range, because then you can do
Yeah,
pale
the
on the
scale.
wall, the scale.
Yeah.
You can do pale on the wall, you can do the darker on the skirting. That is so versatile.
Very nice. Well, that is it.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much
Oh,
for sitting with
pleasure.
me today. It's been
Pleasure.
wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful to be with you
Only
both.
after a freebie, she was.
All of this because I need a sexy Howden's kitchen.